I didn't even know how to start this video.
Why am I so nervous?
I'm like so nervous, so excited, and everything all at once.
It's like so much is happening right now. Like, not only are we announcing this video,
yes,
but it's the first time we've uploaded a video on this channel in months, as you guys know, of course. But hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to Lastic and Ry. Oh my gosh, we have a big announcement. You'll never guess what it is. Do you think they read the title of the thumbnail?
And probably heard us just talk about it just now, too.
Y'all, we, after 4 years of trying to have a child and to get pregnant, we are.
Pregnant.
We're pregnant.
Oh, I'm gonna get emotional.
It's okay.
No, I wasn't. I promise I'm happy, but it's just like, when you said, like, 4 years of trying, that's just like, I don't know, like, I just have so much flashbacks.
It's the pregnancy emotions.
I'm just so emotional. Oh.
This video, we just sort of want to talk about our journey of what it took for us to become pregnant and to become parents. Because, boy, has it been a journey.
Yes.
So, I don't know, Lastic, if you want to sort of talk about what sort of the process was and everything.
Okay, so Ryan and I, when we got married, we knew we wanted to start a family pretty soon.
Yes.
So after getting married, we started trying, but we weren't able to conceive, and we really honestly didn't know. And after 2 years of trying, we finally went to a doctor.
Yep.
And discovered that I have, for the sake of saving time, like, I guess the best way to say is, like, we found out that I have a medical condition that is preventing me from conceiving.
Correct.
And in order to conceive, we would have to go through the medical process, get a little bit of science's help to conceive, and we wanted to try to keep it as natural as possible. So we wanted to go with the more, what's the word? Affordable.
Yes, affordable.
Affordable options first, which is less evasive.
Yes, so for the beginning stages of this entire journey, we sat with the doctor, and they were able to sort of give us their best guess on what we were going through and what our infertility was and why we weren't able to conceive. And so there's a couple things that you're able to do. At that time, there was a process, I think it was called Femera.
Yeah, Femera.
Femera or something like that, which was basically, what was it?
It basically just controlled my cycle.
Yeah, so it just made it so that everything was prepared and ready to go inside of her body for it to happen.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that we were able to try that up to 3 times, because after if the third one fails, it just at that point just shows that it's probably not going to work.
Yeah.
And so we ended up doing 2 times of that.
Yeah, and then
this was back in when? Was it 2020 or 2021?
This year 2023? Yeah.
This is 2023.
This is 2021 then, because we did it during 2021, and it was very hard for both Ryan and I. Like, I was the one that was getting injected hormones and everything, and I was just going through so much change in my body, and also emotionally. It was just a very, 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 very hard process. And it was also hard for Ryan, because while I'm going through all these hormonal ups and downs, he had to deal with me.
She went through the brunt of all of the hard labor throughout all of this process.
He had to deal with me. But not only that, I have this fear of, not necessarily fear, but I don't like seeing needles going in my body. So I was supposed to have like 2 to 3 injections every day. And I just couldn't do it myself. So I had to ask Ryan to do it. And
I developed a fear of giving injections. I don't know if you've ever given somebody a shot before, but when you love the person and you have no idea what you're doing, it's one of the most terrifying processes. Thankfully, as our journey continues, and we'll explain more about it, it got a lot easier, and I got a lot more comfortable and confident doing it.
Yeah.
But it was just something at first that I was like, holy cow. What?
They also didn't prepare you enough. Like, they didn't give you, like, a class or anything. It was just kind of like, do this, and it was, like, literally just, like, instructions on paper that you were supposed to follow, where I thought they should have given you more of an in-person class.
Yeah, but hey, we're here. It eventually worked, obviously.
Yeah.
So we tried the Femera process 2 times.
2 times.
And it was unsuccessful for both of the times.
And I just got to a point where I was mentally and physically, emotionally so drained.
Yeah.
And I told Ryan during 2022, like, I told him at the end of 2021, I'm like, Ryan, I just want to take a break during 2022. And if we do conceive during that year, then that's a blessing. But I just want to take a break because I was just so exhausted. So we took 2022 off.
Correct. We did not do any sort of anything special in order to have a child in 2022. And then 2023, this year started, and she decided she was ready
to do the final thing, and this was the only thing that would be our option.
Yeah,
left.
So in vitro fertilization is a crazy medical process. I don't know how science has gotten to the point where it is today, where they're able to do all this crazy stuff. But basically, it just, for couples who are unsuccessful naturally and with the Femera process and stuff of conceiving, it just gives them another option, and this option has much higher of a success rate than any of the other options that
and
are out
even
there.
More invasive.
A lot more invasive for sure.
Yeah, invasive, and honestly, although it would have been better on my body to do it earlier, I feel like taking that break during 2022 was a good choice too, because we were able to save up, because oh boy,
it's quite the expensive process.
We knew it was going to be expensive, and we inquired our doctor about the cost of it first. But what we paid, it went over what we were estimating. Right?
Yeah,
what the doctor had
unfortunately
estimated us.
For our case, the clinic that we used to go through this entire process just was not very transparent about a lot of things, and one of those things was, of course, the cost. But for us, it was just, we knew this was probably our only option that we had. And so, of course, we were willing to do anything we needed to do in order to make it work. And so, so at the beginning of the year, we started the process. And that's kind of why uploads, especially on this channel, got just super scarce and sparse. Because Lastic's body was going through so many changes. I mean, so many hormones.
Yeah, I would wake up and I would just be like, Ryan, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's just not just like emotionally or mentally feeling that way, but it's just like all these hormones just was not agreeing with my body. Do you remember I would break out into hives and stuff, like in rashes and stuff like that? So,
at the injection site, wherever I would give the injections, we had to change where I was giving the injections, because for about a week, it was every single day there was 3 different injections we had to give her. And some of them were a lot easier for her than others, but especially there's this one that literally I had to take the powder and put it inside this vial with a certain amount of liquid from this other vial.
Fully dissolve.
And I had to swirl it around, and I had to then take another needle and suck it up into that needle, and then make sure there's no air bubbles, which wasn't as big of a deal with these injections, but just make sure that it was fine, and then give her the injection. And then that injection was really hard on her as well.
I did not like it. My body did not like it.
Lastic, y'all, is the biggest trooper in the entire world. It's such, the whole IVF is shortened for in vitro fertilization. So the whole IVF process was just very emotional. Very emotional for her. Very physically hard for her as well.
Yeah.
And so it just got to a point where we're just like, okay, we don't really want to talk yet on the channel about why we have to stop, because we wanted it to sort of, 1, be a surprise, and 2, it was just a lot.
I think, during the 4 years when we were trying, like, it was already affecting my mental health, because I'm like, we're so ready to give love to a child, so why can't we bring a life into this world? Like, it was mentally and emotionally draining me a lot, and it got me into like depression. Ryan had to deal with a lot of me crying every month. But like, even during 2022, even though I told us that we're going to take a break, it was really hard. This year, I'm so glad that we went through this, because clearly we were successfully able to conceive.
So the way it went is we had the injections, and so the injections led up to something called retrieval. So she had to undergo basically a surgery. She had to be put under anesthesia, she had to be put to sleep so that they could go in and extract eggs out of her. And then they take those eggs and then they make the embryos with those eggs. Tiny little microscopic embryos. But this whole process totally blows my mind. Yeah. And then they take the embryos, they find, they see how they're maturing, and the ones that are maturing properly, or how they deem properly, they'll take a subset of those, and they'll take however many we chose to have, which in our case was 1, and put it back inside, and hope that her body accepts it and starts the pregnancy process.
We didn't know this at the time, but apparently the first time in vitro does not always end up successful. apparently it often fails.
Correct.
And also, not only that,
we, in some cases, were very unlucky.
not only that, so we had the transfer, and I think literally 2 or 3 days later, we came down with COVID.
Yeah, so you get the retrieval, and then like a few days after that, after they grow the embryos and they find the ones that are suitable, they transfer it back into her body. And then literally, we dodged COVID for 3 years. We never got COVID. We literally got COVID, 3 days after your transfer?
Yeah, I think so. We got really sick because of COVID. And
this poor girl could not take any medicine.
No.
There was no medicine she was allowed to take.
I had 4 days of nonstop fever.
Since I've met Lastic, I've never seen her with a fever. Ever.
No, never seen.
And she's trying to brew a baby, and she gets the worst fever I've ever seen.
I really thought, trying not to get emotional, okay, because I know everything turned out fine, but I really thought we lost a baby.
Yeah, it's such a scary process in general, because you're waiting on a phone call, and you don't know which way that phone call is going to go. You don't know if it's going to go positive or negative. Mm-hmm. And I think it was maybe a week after the transfer, they did a blood test, or 2 weeks?
No, 2 weeks after. We were supposed to go in a week after, but then we came down with the COVID, and they wanted us to wait.
Yeah, of course they didn't let us in the facility.
So that we were completely clear. So we waited and got the blood test done. And I honestly, even though I was trying to stay hopeful, I was like, we might have lost the baby. I was trying, there was 2 Lastics fighting in my head. Like a hopeful Lastic and one realistic Lastic.
I feel like that's very common, though. I feel like there's always that fight internally.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we got the phone call, and they said, congratulations, you're pregnant. And that was just amazing. It's just one of the craziest feelings after so long and so much hardship and such, physically, emotionally draining times. We were pregnant, and she was pregnant, and it was just crazy.
Ryan and I were so opposite. So the first day when we found out that we were pregnant, I was in disbelief. And then the next day it hit me. But then for Ryan, when we found out we were pregnant, it literally hit him that first day.
It hit me within the same millisecond. I was like, oh my gosh. And I started mentally preparing, okay, what happens now? Oh my gosh, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening, everyone. That one office meme. Yeah. So we, just started, basically at that point, we're just starting the pregnancy process. And so we were still with the IVF doctor. And one night on our friend's birthday,
June 17th,
it was just before midnight. And we had a big scare.
Yeah, so it was his birthday, and we celebrated his birthday. And the plan was that it's our friend and his girlfriend. And we are really close couple friends. So they were supposed to come over to our house, have a sleepover, and we were supposed to watch a movie, play board games, just chill for the night. I go to the bathroom because during dinner, I felt something was wrong. And I go to the bathroom and I am gushing blood.
Yeah, so it's whenever you're pregnant, it's of course not normal to see a lot of bleeding. It's normal to see some bleeding, and of course everybody's different. But as far as we were aware, it was not very normal to see a lot of bleeding.
It was not normal amount of blood, and I never, I'm a type of person that even to this day, when I go to the bathroom, I close my door. I don't let Ryan see me pee or use the bathroom. I do not like seeing that, but it was such an abnormal amount of blood that I called Ryan. I'm like, can you please confirm that you don't think this is normal amount too?
Yeah, and there was also blood clotting that she was seeing, and just a lot of signs. So we ended up calling the doctor, and they said, oh, we'll call you back as soon as we can. And we never got a phone call back, and so we just went to the hospital because we, of course, didn't.
Our poor birthday boy.
Yeah, drove us to the hospital.
To rush us to the ER.
At midnight. It was technically almost not his birthday anymore, right? So.
Yeah, so he had to rush us to the ER. And, everything just kind of worked out because it was a very rainy, thundering night, and for some reason ER room was not busy.
I've been to ER for different reasons throughout my life. I've never we were the only people in the waiting room.
Yeah.
And we got basically in and out of the ER that night with all the tests and everything they did. We were in and out in probably 3 hours, which is just usually you're in the waiting room for 3 hours. So it's just crazy. So yeah, it was a big blessing that everything worked out in that regard. Yeah. And as far as the baby was concerned,
we went through ultrasound, and the ultrasound tech was so So, Karen,
Mm-hmm.
she made me feel comfortable, and she took series of ultrasound images, and during the process, she wouldn't tell me. I think it was, confidentiality,
Well, I
and
think they just always have to leave the results of everything up to the
the
doctor, because the doctor is ultimately
Yeah.
the one who's going to make the
So
decisions.
when she was taking all the ultrasound images, I was freaking out, and of course we waited, and then the doctor came back and said, the baby is still there.
Baby's healthy,
Yeah.
baby's normal. What they called it was a threatened miscarriage, which basically means it's not a miscarriage, but it's not normal. Like, the amount of bleeding and everything she was experiencing was not normal at all.
Yes.
So they recommended we follow up with our IVF doctor, because we still weren't transferred over from our IVF clinic to a OBGYN, which is typically who you would go through during a pregnancy.
Yeah.
And so we followed up with them 3 days later. Everything looked perfectly normal.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention, up until this point, I was always somewhat bleeding a little bit.
Yeah.
Because one of the hormones that I was under, one of the side effects is bleeding, constant bleeding. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit. But like this night, it was a lot. And I'm off that hormone.
And some people watching this might go, "Oh yeah, IVF pregnancy has more bleeding,"
Yeah.
which we found out later.
See, they didn't inform us any of these.
Like I said, the clinic we went through, they definitely could have let
Yeah.
us know on a lot of things. They kept us in the dark, certainly, on a
They
lot of
definitely
things.
did.
But, it's just, at this point, where we sit now, we are 14 weeks and 5 days pregnant.
You want to see?
And look at the baby bump.
Baby bump.
That's the baby bump right there.
4 months.
4 months.
3 months and 2 weeks and 5 days. Technically, we could know the gender of the baby.
We could know right now. There's actually sitting online on our portal for our doctor's office, there is the gender of our baby. However,
it took so long and so much emotional and mental turmoil to get here that I decided that I really want to just like
go all out.
Go all out. I never thought that I would be the person to do gender reveal. And when my friend asked me if I want a baby shower, my answer was like, I don't know, I never thought about it. But since I want to go all out, we decided we're going to do a gender reveal, and hence we do not know what the gender of our baby is. Oh, by the way, it's one baby, not babies.
Oh yeah, one baby. There was a chance of twins, even if you just put one embryo in, that embryo can split, and actually multiple times, but just one baby.
Yeah, both of our parents, one of them at least, like your mom, and then my dad wanted twins, but we were like, no, just one.
One of the things about IVF process is it takes a lot of the surprise out of pregnancy. Like, time you do like pregnancy announcements and stuff like that with your family, but everybody knew we were going through the process. So of course, everybody that was super duper close to us knew right away.
Yeah.
And
But so we do not know the gender of the baby. Gender of the baby will be revealed, which we probably will do a short video on.
Yep.
So we could put together the gender reveal party, but our friend and my sister Jenny wants to put it together. So
they know the gender. They know the gender,
so they're putting it together, and we're probably going to record a short little bit of it, revealing the gender of the baby with you guys as well. And we are due next year, February 3rd.
February 3rd is the due date. So, one thing I keep wanting to mention, I keep forgetting. Mm-hmm. So we called the not the baby, but we called the pregnant fetus. We call the fetus Teehee, which is Korean for a lot of things. Healthy,
strong, and I really wanted to give the baby like a really cute name, but when we were told that we were pregnant, all I could think is I want this baby to be healthy because we just went through COVID.
Yep.
And I'm like, I just want the baby to be healthy. So all I could think about was the health of the baby and the well-being. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna call this baby Teehee. Hoping. And
so in videos, I'm sure you're going to hear us saying Teehee a lot. We're always going to be referring to the
our
baby.
Friend, the funny thing is, one of our friends, he thinks that the baby is a girl just because Teehee sounds like Tiffany.
Which is not what we would be naming a girl.
No, that's not going to be the name of a baby.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're making this video. What a process. I don't know how I'm going to edit this video, if it's just going to be this and you guys are here with us, or if I'm going to put in, throughout the last 4 years, every single time Lastic was late and we were we thought there was a chance and we took a test for pregnancy, we recorded it. And so I don't know, some of those I'm just shirtless in bed, so I don't know how many of those I'm going to be including, if any of them. Yeah. But if I do include them, I'll put a little montage at the end of the video. And, you know, it seems kind of somber because we're disappointed, you know, for every single one, but it's also very exciting because, you know, everything is in God's plan, and as unnatural of a process as this was, you know, we tried to leave as much up to God as we possibly could.
We really did.
And, you know, both Lastic and I talk about all the time how blessed we are to have the friends that we have in our life, how blessed we are to have y'all as an audience who are still here sticking around with us, you know, even though we don't upload for 3 months or 4 months. And so we just want to remind ourselves every day of how blessed we are and share those blessings with our child who will be here next year.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the YouTube and the uploads, there are few things that we wanted to talk to you guys about. First of all, there will be no more face cams.
Correct.
And the reason is because as, not so much right now, but when the baby is born, we're going to be, our priority is definitely going to be, you know, taking care of the baby. And there's going to be times when I am not going to be put together, nor Ryan. But we don't want to, like, you know, put ourselves together and then have the baby wake up and we cannot record. So just so that we can record as soon as we are able to, we decided to take off the face cam from this channel, but we're going to add something else.
We're going to replace it with something fun. We don't know exactly what that's going to be yet, but we are going to replace it with something super duper fun. Yes. And another thing is we are back. You know, this video is sort of our big boom. If you look at our channel, we have a brand new channel banner. So that's exciting. That happened months ago that we were supposed to put on months. We're like, we'll just wait till we do the reveal video.
There's another thing I want to mention too, because I know there are several people who are waiting for like Escape Academy videos and certain types of videos and the games that we enjoy playing. Those might be on hold for a little bit just because I get very motion sick. I was already prone to motion sickness, but this pregnancy is
not helping.
So I haven't thrown up once, thank goodness. You know, like I haven't thrown up once, and I'm able to hold down my food. However, there are some pregnancy side effects that I am experiencing pretty harsh.
Yeah, there's a lot of first-person games that Lastic struggles a lot with lately. We even did some test stuff, and we played some games on Roblox. And
even the games that I was able to play, no problem. I was like, I couldn't do.
So just bear with us as we kind of navigate that, and we figure out like what is okay. And, you know, sometimes the videos might be more chopped up because we might be playing and then taking a break and then coming back to it. And we're just going to have to figure it out and make it work. But on all of our channels, the plan is we're back. We're back on YouTube, and we're here to stay. And we're just so excited to be back, and we're so thankful to have every single one of you that are watching this video or have ever watched any of our videos and left us any support at all. We love you all, and we thank you a lot.
You want to see the picture of our baby?
You want to see?
I know it wasn't the thumbnail, but they might want to see it.
So I'll show it here, like point it like this, but I'll also put a picture on the screen, a close-up picture. Oh, actually this works well. So that is Tintini.
That's Tintini.
That is Tintini right there. And I don't know if you can see the head right here. That's the head. And then down here would be the legs and the arms and everything. We just had our first ultrasound in a long time. We had this ultrasound. It was our first ultrasound since the baby was microscopic. And everything is looking normal. Yeah. So everything's on the up and up. Everything's good. Lastic's doing well.
I'm doing well.
You know, we're managing her cravings and her side effects as best as we can. And everything's we're just so blessed. And
I'm so excited.
We're so excited. Thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, you have anything you want to add, just leave it down in the comment section below. We're going to be in and out of that all day and all night tonight. So just let us know. Well, probably not all night, because part of this whole journey and this whole nesting process is we've actually like developed a very healthy sleep schedule.
Yeah.
So we actually sleep at night now, which isn't something that we used to do.
I honestly could stay up late if I wanted to, even now, even though I fixed my sleeping schedule, but I tell myself I need to put the baby to sleep.
Yeah, but anyway, communicate with us. We'll be communicating back with y'all on the comments of this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and we're so excited to finally be able to share this news with you all. We love you, and we'll see you in the next gaming video super soon. We promise.
Bye!
Bye!